Going on, guys? Quinn69 here. How you guys doing? Today I'm bringing you guys the guide on the Dashing Strike Monk. Kind of going to show you guys what's up, how powerful it is, how it works and everything, and we're going to go over my favorite gear setups and how I'm going to be running it this season. And obviously it's very early days. The patch has been live now for about like 2 days now, not even 2 days, like 1.5 days, and so things are subject to change, but so far this is the most powerful build I've found for non-season. Obviously, I'm going to be going over items I'm going to be using in seasonal. I'm going to change my skill set slightly, and I'm going to be using slightly different items for seasonal. But this is basically the gameplay. Pretty much you punch and you dash. When I first started playing the build, I was doing it wrong. I was trying to go punch, 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 dash, 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 punch, 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 dash, dash, dash. Okay, don't do it like that, guys. Do it like this. Hold down your punch key, then spam dash whenever you've got spirit. Because basically the new set, if you guys don't know, the new set here makes dash cost spirit. So your dash here, whatever, costs 75 spirit to use, and it does 12.5k weapon damage. You know, it's really powerful. As you can see here, I'm critting for like what 1.2 billion on average or something like that. 1.3 billion, kind of varies. And like you can casually, I don't know, with my gear. I guess my gear is okay. It's not like best in slot by any means. I didn't have fully optimized gear for this set, as I didn't think I'll be playing it. But yeah, whatever. The patch came out, and here we are doing rifts. And yeah, it's really quite powerful. Even more powerful than the Sanwoku Monk. Maybe not by a long shot. Maybe Sanwoku Monk could actually, in the perfect circumstances, could actually compete with this set. But this is gonna, you know, on a more consistent basis, be more powerful than Sanwoku Monk, just because of the fact that you can do single target damage. So you can actually kill Rift Guardians relatively fast. And I'm just gonna show you guys how, like in this rift here. I'm doing this live. This is not a pre-recorded footage, obviously. I am doing this. I just randomly logged in. Just decided I was gonna make a guide. I am quite fragile. You can see I'm not using Unity. I am using new Focus and Restraint. So you see my two little buffs there. Focus and Restraint. They are giving me they're 50% damage multipliers, and they both multiply with each other. So it's actually 1.5 multiplied by 1.5. So it's like 1.25 increase. You know, it's like a 1.25 multiplier overall. It's not like 100 instead of 100%. It's pretty. It's Focus and Restraint are pretty overpowered, and it's what I'm going to be using. The only time you'd ever use Unity is for playing hardcore, basically. The damage output of this ring setup is just too good. Oh, I'm dead, boys, I'm dead. It does happen with this build. You are kind of fragile. The only way I survive is by using these ancient Partherian defenders. Pretty much every single monster that's frozen, it says stunned, but they work off freezes as well. So as long as the monster's frozen, you get an extra, I think it goes up to 12% damage reduction, and that's a straight damage reduction. It's really quite powerful. So you can see, like, I don't really take, when I've got lots of density, I don't really take much damage at all. And when we get to seasonal, it's going to be much better, because we get to use new Spirit Guard braces. They're these new braces which reduce all damage taken by up to 40%. It's quite OP. Quite overpowered. Oh my god, these mob types. I'm gonna get wrecked here, guys. I'm gonna get wrecked. Bees and more loose. This is like a nightmare. This is a nightmare mob type, I'm not gonna lie. And we got reduced healing mobs as well. God damn it. God damn it. God damn it, guys. God damn it. This is not a great example of how to play the spec, because I mean, when you're playing Focus and Restraint, the rings I'm using, you are kind of reliant almost on getting good mob types. It's kind of like best case scenario sort of setup, but it's gonna be the way to push the higher grade risks. Unfortunately, that's how you do it. You're always fishing for the best case scenario, and obviously these mob types are quite possibly one of the worst case scenarios here that we're fighting. But we can deal with it. It's only GR50, so we can deal with it. Just need to watch out for these bees, and I just want to kind of show you guys the power of the single target damage here on the Rift Guardian. Don't know if this is going to take up too much of the video. I guess it's kind of like a little bit of a gameplay video for you guys, so you guys can see the gameplay of it. So all I'm doing is really holding down my little generator and just spamming dash to drop my spirit. If I spam dash too much, I'll spam it too much right now, deliberately, you'll see here. Okay, so now it's on cooldown. Even if I had spirit, I still can't use this. I've got spirit to use dash, but I still can't use it because it's on cooldown. So you never want to spam too much. That's something you don't want to do. Okay, what was that? Please be a channeling pollen. Oh my god, it's a channeling pollen. Oh, boys. Guess what time it is? Guess what time it is? It's time to go wreck us some Rift Guardians. Let's just spawn this. Okay. So, remember, dash does 12.5k damage now, and channeling pylon means I can spam infinitely, so it means a 75 spirit ability, which the animation time is like instant, especially with the flying dragon. It's really, really fast, so we can pretty much global rift cadence here. This is like a great example. Hopefully I won't die when doing this. Okay, we're gonna drop it in the sanctuary, gonna grab it, and we're just gonna hold down dash. Am I doing this right? Why is it not dying? There we go, there we go. Now she's starting to die. Now she's starting to die. Now he's starting to die. As you can see, I'm hitting for like billions a second. Not going to be quite enough to kill him though. No, dashing strike. Please, please, please. Proc, 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 proc. Flying dragon proc. God damn it, I'm frozen. Anyway, this build here, pretty much what I'm playing here, this is how you're going to play it. I don't think I'm going to be bothered to kill the Rift Guard in here. It's going to take a few minutes. It'll take like another 2 minutes to kill by myself. So we might just quickly port to town anyway. And we'll kind of show you guys actually, wait, it's going to be all grayed out if I don't kill it. I'm going to have to kill it, boys. We're going to have to kill it. Otherwise it's going to be really awkward going over the gear. So we're going to kill this boss and we'll show you. I don't know, I guess you can learn a little bit from the single target rotation here. So all you want to be doing is pressing Breath of Heaven on cooldown. As long as you've got something to punch, press Breath of Heaven, drop in a Sanctuary. And then just hopefully I won't die to stuff. The tornadoes and I'm standing in. You're not supposed to stand in this little circle here that I'm standing in. Probably should wait for that to disappear or something. I don't know. Only GR50 should be fine. And just make sure you don't press too many dashes. But then every time you see my spirit at full, then I'm doing it. But you want your spirit to be floating around the mid-range. That's the dream. I mean, even if you want to make use of cooldown reduction, if you're an absolute complete pro, you'd even use cooldown reduction. So you actually use the cooldown of dash as well to deal more damage. So if you were just a complete machine, you can always if you can see that's on one charge here. If you can keep that on one charge the whole time, but don't spend so much that you have no charges. You know, that means you're benefiting from a free dash charge the whole time, and you're actually doing out slightly more DPS. Yeah, I mean, but that's really kind of it's not impossible, but to micromanage that much, especially in a rift when you're so fragile, pretty much impossible. Humanly impossible. Maybe there's someone out there who can make like a bot or a macro or something. I don't know. Oh my god, don't kill me, please, please don't kill me in the YouTube video. We're gonna go over the gear here. So anyway, you can see if this is a if you can remember the old Samwuku monk, if we're doing a GR50, it would take us ages to kill this guy. It would take us at least I don't know, in a GR50, like at least 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Actually, that's being generous. Like it takes you 8 minutes to kill a Stone Slinger in like 54. That'd be like almost a 12-minute kill. So for this monk here, I don't know how long it took me. I've been pausing like a retard the whole time. So yeah, I don't know. It's pretty quick. I'm doing around 1.4 billion DPS, and he has 226 billion health, so yeah, you can work do the math. It's a pretty quick boss kill. Please just die. Please just die. Okay. Oh, that was actually a... I didn't realize I was actually doing a rift. I didn't realize I was actually... Okay, cool. I didn't actually... Why? Oh my god, I didn't even realize this. That was awkward. I was just doing this as the guide. I wasn't actually trying to push or anything. Like, literally, you saw me AFK multiple times during the rift. But sweet as. We'll keep going. Alright. Apparently we ranked up from that. Did I talk to Urshi? Please tell me. Don't tell me I didn't. Oh, I can still show you. I can show you the gear now. Oh, cool, brilliant. So anyway, guys, the gear, the build I'm using right now. I'm just gonna show you guys what's up. I'm gonna show you what's up. So the weapon we use is Flying Dragon. Simply because the way Flying Dragon works is it multiplies your attack speed by 2. It multiplies your attack speed by 2, basically. That's how the Flying D works. So with this build here, because we've got the Raiment set here, which has a 25% attack speed multiplier on it already, and then this gets multiplied by 2, and then we're using, you know, lots of other attack speed multipliers, like Alacrity, which is another, I don't know if you guys have seen Alacrity before. It's this thing here. Increases the attack speed of your spirit generators by 15%. That's another multiplier, and then you just get lots of item attack speed on your gear as well. And basically, it's really quite overpowered with the Flying Dragon. And you know, attack speed directly converts into spirit regen, and spirit regen is damage because spirit regen is more dashes, and that's what we're using. And flying D is the best weapon, in my opinion. Second best weapon, or potentially more consistent weapon, because you're obviously reliant on you know, proc. So if this thing doesn't, if you get bad RNG, you know, this thing can underperform and the furnace could actually outperform it. But on average, this is going to do better. But if you haven't got one of these, or you happen to get like a sick ancient furnace drop, you can just swap a furnace on there and it'll work fine. But the flying dragon just gives you more survivability and more damage during channeling pollen as well, because it procs and then your character just goes stupidly fast. It's ridiculous. Anyway, and then we're going to be using the 8 Demons boots. We're just using the raiment boots, raiment pants, raiment chest, and thing to note on the chest: get dashing strike damage on it. It increases the damage of the set bonus. Raiment shoulders, raiment gloves, and the raiment head. And we're just literally using the entire set. We're not using a Ring of Royal Grandeur. We're using the really stupid, broken as you know, restraint and focus rings. We'll go over that in a little bit. So yeah, you don't use a Ring of Royal Grandeur, you just use the entire set like that. And then for necklaces, there's pretty much 2 necklaces that I would use. There's only 2 necklaces which I would touch. My favorite necklace is Hellfire Amulet. You can see here, I'm using Hellfire Amulet. It's got alacrity on it, so that's that attack speed multiplier which we were talking about a second ago. This is in my opinion the best option. It's the most aggressive option anyway. And then the second best item for amulet slot would be the Eye of Elich, simply because this monk's is so fragile, and especially from ranged projectiles, ranged attacks just completely wreck the monk. So the Eye of Elich has a 35% range damage reduction, so that reduces damages from certain like actual monster, like rare monster affixes. On top of that, it also reduces all the arrows and shit. So you know, it's really good for surviving. And then our belt we're using is String of Ears. This is simply to survive you know, auto attacks from mobs. That's how we're surviving auto attacks from mobs. That's all it is. And it also works on you know, certain rare monster affixes. So we're not going to go over those. So it does work on actual magic effects as well as it does reduce the actual auto attack hits. It's not just, you'll notice it. The second you put String of Ears on, you'll notice it. And it's a separate damage reduction multiplier, so it scales really well with all your aura resist. You'll notice I'm using 4 white gems. I suggest you do the same. Because we're not using Unity, and we're in really high greater rifts, you want to be using full or white gems, 100%. Full white gems all the way. Stay away from dexterity. No point using it. The damage we do is insane. It's all about survival at this point. So that's why we're using the white gems. The braces I'm using the Ancient Patherian Defenders. If you're playing seasonal, you're going to want to use the new Spirit Guards. They're much better than the Ancient Patherian Defenders because when you're using these, you're forced into using a cold generator. So I'm using Fists of Thunder Wind Blast. Okay, this is probably the best. This is the most aggressive cold skill you can use. If you want to play slightly more defensive, you can go Tsunami. This does like a big AoE freeze, but you don't need it. This one has the same exact. It's like a slightly smaller radius. Wind Blast has a slightly smaller freeze radius, but you get you know, an extra 2 spirit per attack. So it's significantly more damage by using this one. So that's why I've opted to choose Wind Blast. Yeah. But if you're using the new Spirit Guard, so if you're playing seasonal right now and you've got the Spirit Guard braces, I'll put these on the screen. You want to go Quickening, 100%. Quickening, you get 20 Spirit per attack. 20 Spirit per attack is insane. It's so much damage. 100% we're going to be using this. This is going to be the dream. When I get the Spirit Guards, I'm going to be using that. But until that point, so if you're playing non-season or you don't have the Spirit Guards, just go ahead and use Wind Blast or Tsunami. Did I go over all the items? Okay, rings there. Restraint, we're using Restraint and Focus. This is a new ring set. As I said before, every time you generate, you do 50% damage, like 50% more damage, and then every time you spend, you do 50% more damage. And they're both multipliers, so you actually get 1.25, you know, more damage. It's insane. The amount of damage you do is stupid. I do about 700 million damage per second using Unity and Soj. Versus like 1.4 billion per second using this. So it's just, there's no real contest, unfortunately. You have to use these. It's a really fragile spec. But say you're playing hardcore or something, you could go Unity and Surge if you want to. So Unity, that's the Unity ring, and you combo it with the Unity on your follower, and then you use the Stone of Jordan just to do, you know, more damage. But yeah, if you're playing softcore and you want to push the leaderboards, Restraint and Focus 100% the way to go. As for legendary gems here, I'll quickly go over these. I'm using Gorica Swiftness, so that's just literally for the cooldown reduction and the attack speed. Obviously, the attack speed is multiplied by the Flying Dragon, so it's really, really powerful in that respect. And on top of that, we get the cooldown reduction, which is survivability, because, you know, we need Desert Shroud. When you're fighting elites, pretty much like in the higher Grados, when I was doing 54s earlier in today, pretty much you're just almost playing around this cooldown, so it's really huge for Desert Shroud uptime. So anyway, I wouldn't replace this. This is one of my favorite gems by far. I'm using Esoteric Alteration. This gem here is really, really overpowered. There's only one exception here. I would switch this out. So if you had a Flying Dragon or a Furnace, so say I was to use this Furnace, see it's got no healing on it, I'd be forced into using the Molten Wildebeest Gizzard instead of the Esoteric Alteration. But you get so much bloody healing if you have healing on your weapon, so life on hit on your weapon specifically, that if you've got healing on your weapon, then use Alteration. If you've got no healing on your weapon, use the Gizzard in place of the Alteration. Okay. And then for your next slot, just use Bane of the Trapped. It's just a damage multiplier. It's stupid. It multiplies with everything else. You can't not use it, in my opinion, if you want to push the ranks. You just need the damage. This scales with everything, like Conduit, you know, everything. Like, just really, really broken gem. Until until this gets nerfed, it's going to be best in slot for almost every build in the game, in existence. It's kind of ridiculous. Let's go over the skills real quick. So I'm using Mantra of Salvation, Agility. We'll go over why we're using this. This is basically the Agility, the Dodge, 35%. Remember, you can dodge a lot of affixes in this game. You can dodge so many things. You can dodge Reflect Damage, Fire Change. You can dodge so many like magic affixes. But then obviously certain things like Poison and stuff you can't dodge, and you'll notice you'll get messed up by that. Like I think even Frozen Pulse you can't dodge that. There's certain things that it'll just mess you up. But if you have 35% dodge combined with the 40% dodge you get from using the Cold Dash, the whole reason we're going cold is for the Cold Dash. You know, this here, so if you look at defense here, dodge chance 35, it goes all the way up to 61. It's crazy, man. It's a crazy amount of dodge to have. You can see my toughness just skyrocketing, and then when I pop Desert Shroud as well, it's like 258 million toughness, and you have this 40% dodge buff up the whole time because you're obviously dashing to do damage. So yeah, it's really crazy survivability. It's the only way we can survive in the Greater. So yeah, Inner Sanctuary, Forbidden Palace. There's one other skill that I was messing around with and I switched out every now and then, and I can't really make up my mind which is my favorite. So Inner Sanctuary, Forbidden Palace, this is really awesome because you can drop it and it allows you to just kind of dash around and survive while inside the sanctuary. But the other option you can take is Cyclone Strike. It's really quite powerful because obviously Cyclone Strike, you know, creates density and the dash range. So the rune I'd suggest you use is, if you're using APDs, then we'll use Wall of Wind. If you're using Spirit Guards, then use Implosion. So Spirit Guards, the new seasonal bracer. So use Implosion if you've got Spirit Guards, Wall of Wind if you have Ancient Patharian Defenders, and then yeah, that just creates density. Obviously your dash is a big AoE. When I press dash on the spot here, it'll hit like, it's like, I don't know, probably like a 20-yard radius. I don't know the exact radius. It's about this large. It'll just do a big AoE. So if you cycling everything in, hit dash a few times, you'll just watch it all melt. It's really quite OP. We've gone over this already. We're using Cold Dash simply for the dodge. We're using Epiphany, Desert Shroud. You have to work around this cooldown to survive. You need it. You need it to survive rare packs. As I said, for generators, you can use Tsunami or Wind Blast. And then the second you get the Spirit Guards, the new seasonal braces. So this is seasonal braces. Go to Quickening. It's really overpowered. I wouldn't use anything else. Quickening is the shiznat. To put it, you know, the Quickening, boys. OP. Obviously, because we're using Flying Dragon and we're stacking a lot of attack speed, by far, like, you know, you'd be like, oh, why don't we use like a Spirit Generator, like, you know, Sweeping Wind in a Storm or something. The reason we don't use that is because that's just like 8 per second. This here, 14 additional spirit from spirit generating attacks for 5 seconds. This scales directly with your attack speed, and you have so much attack speed, it's actually insane. Like, check out when my Flying Dragon procs here. If it ever procs, you're going to see my character start going ham. Maybe I'll dash a few times. Just check out when it procs. It'll proc, boys. It'll proc. It'll proc. The dream. The dream. The dream. This is us talking about RNG with Flying Dragon. Sometimes you can have bad RNG and it just won't proc. Holy guacamole. We have gone on a pretty bad streak here. We have gone on a pretty bad streak. It will proc eventually. It will proc. Please, goddammit. Please proc. There we go. Okay, as you can see with this attack speed, Breath of Heaven, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14. You're seeing the extra spirit. And it can proc while it's already procced. It does have a small internal cooldown, but the duration is longer than the internal cooldown, so you can chain proc for literally over 5 minutes if you had the godliest RNG. And you know, with that kind of attack speed, Breath of Heaven just beats everything out by a mile, and it means you can stack cooldown reduction without losing that much damage, because you know, you stack cooldown reduction, it increases the uptime of Breath of Heaven. The more spirit you get, the more damage you do, and the more cooldown reduction you have, the more survivability you have, because you have more Desert Shroud and you have more Inner Sanctuary. This is Inner Sanctuary is the most aggressive option, by the way, as far as like Rift Guardian killing goes. So now we get a proc straight away. Now we get a proc straight. Like, what the hell? RNG, boys, RNG. Passive skills, I'm using CZ Initiative. I would use these passive skills. If you don't have a Hellfire, don't go ahead and choose Alacrity instead of Seize. Alacrity is all good and everything, but it doesn't increase the animation time of your dashing strike, so I'll be using Siege over that. And then if you're going for the Dream Hellfire Amulet, you probably want to have in your Hellfire Amulet, you're probably going to have Alacrity on there. But anything else will do. Anything else will do on your amulet. Like if you happen to get like near death experience, the new NDE is really powerful. You know, if you had like momentum or anything, that'd be all good. But yeah, the Dream is CC Initiative with Alacrity, in my opinion. Then we're using Harmony simply for survivability because we have no Unity. Sixth Sense for survivability, and then Beacon Eater, it's cooldown reduction, which converts into damage and survivability. Paragon Points. We're using I'm actually using Maximum Spirit. This is because it fluctuates so much. I probably wouldn't do this unless you're really, really high Paragon. Like the start of next season, I'm probably going to be going, so I'll be capping out my movement speed because I've got movement speed in my boots, and I'll be going full dexterity up from this point onwards. So I'll be going boom, boom, into dex, and then from here you're going to want to go cooldown reduction. So max out your CDR for survivability. Then you're going to go crit damage, crit chance, attack speed. For defense, you want to go Aura Resist, Armor, Life Percent, then Life Regen. For utility, you want to go. The Dream is to go Resource Cost Reduction, so RCR, Area Damage, then Life on Hit, and then Gold Fine. You can, if you're struggling to survive, you can go Life on Hit earlier, but these two are really huge for doing damage. They're really, really powerful. Otherwise, guys, that's pretty much it. That's all you really need to know. Kind of showed you the gameplay, showed you how it all works. But yeah, if you've got any other questions, just leave it down below in the comments and stuff, and I'll hopefully get back to you. But Season 3 is about to start in 2 days from now, so I'm probably not going to be checking YouTube that much. But anyways, guys, peace out from me. Hope you guys enjoy this spec. It's kind of spammy. At the same time, it's pretty fun. It's really weird. In T6 especially, it's insanely fun. Like in T6, you're just a god. You press dash, and you can kill a Rift Guardian in 2 dashes. It's kind of stupid in that respect. But anyways, guys, peace out. I love you guys. See you guys when I see you guys.